Hey, it's your boy. I'm gonna talk about some interesting things that have been happening recently. The the Overwatch, well, there's two big things. First of all, Overwatch is coming to Steam, which that is something if I've ever heard that. I didn't think that would ever happen. Um, but that is super interesting. I think it'll be interesting to finally see the real numbers when it comes to player count. Like sure they'll be split, but we'll have an actual like estimate because right now for all we've ever had for Blizzard is like Blizzard's like, yeah, we have millions of players. And it's like, okay, according to you. And it's like, yeah. Why, do you not trust us? Yeah, you are the company who makes this game, so of course I don't trust you to give me real information. But we got that. I don't really think that I think that's a good thing all around, just because I mean I don't want to have BattleNet installed if I don't have to, which this means I won't have to anymore. And also it will show how many players are really playing this game. So the people who say like Overwatch doesn't have a million players or it does, we'll finally know who's right and who's wrong, which will be nice. Even if it's just a fraction of the players, it's easier to know that way. Um, and it's just good for more people in general to be able to play if they want. Even as much as I'm about to just go in on this game. It's always good to have more people able to play if they want. I'm always down for that. But the bigger news for me, honestly, is Blizzard has now confirmed that Overwatch 2 is declining in player count already, which that just already should show you something that we're already losing players. This game came out not like a year ago. And Overwatch 1, keep in mind, I would say was popular for 3 years straight, essentially. Like, very, very popular and very successful for about 3 years straight before Fortnite kind of started taking over. But even still, that shows you something, that this game is already not, doesn't have a long lifespan already. Man, my aim is off. I've only been playing Project Zomboid, so my aim's gonna be absolutely dog shit. I've been playing Project Zomboid and Mortal Kombat, so not much PC gaming, honestly. But anyway, I think that's something, and I'm not even trying to, like, you guys know, I do shit on Blizzard a lot, and I shit on this game a lot. But this time, I'm not even trying to be like, look at what's happening to Overwatch, because I honestly don't care that much. However, I do think it is interesting that we are already seeing a decline in players, and this game has been out for like a year. That shows something, and it also shows that their seasonal model of like adding like literally nothing every single season isn't working, which is good because I fucking hate this. People act like Overwatch is getting a good amount of content. It is not. We're getting one new character every fucking, like, what is it, it's either 4 or 6 months. Which sounds good until you look at the characters we've been getting, and then you kind of realize, you're like, these characters aren't good. Like, if these were polished on the level as Overwatch 1 characters, then I'd say fair enough. But we've gotten, what is it, 2 new maps, like 5 characters, I think, maybe? Let me see. One. Well, okay, I'm not even going to include all the Overwatch 2 ones. I'll include Kiriko because I think she was a Season 1 character, but the other 2, I'm not going to include. So we got Kiriko, we got no DPS, we got Junker Queen. Wait, no, we had Junker Queen. So we got Kiriko, Ramatra, and Lifeweaver. So, and that's not including the ones that launched with Overwatch 2. And that's been it for heroes in a year. I really think there's more. Hold on, I need to check before I go in on that, because that's kind of ridiculous if that's true. What the hell? It really is. We got 3 characters, is it? That's terrible. Isn't that worse than Overwatch 1, actually, now that I'm thinking about it? Because didn't we get 4 Overwatch characters in the best years? I don't know if those were like, I think the first year we got like 2. This next year after that we got 3, and then the year after that we got 4. But then I think it started going down, and then we got Echo one year. It was literally just one character, and then the next year we got no one. So, at least hopefully it'll stay consistent. But like I said, so I'm just gonna go in on that number. 3 heroes a year is not consistent content. That is dog shit. That is absolutely trash, especially with the caliber of heroes that we're getting. Like, we've gotten Lifeweaver, who has got to be the most disappointing character, I think, of all time in this game. And one of the most boring, like, story-wise. And it's just, overall, just not that good of a character. And also has managed to have all of that while still having, this ability, which I still think is one of the worst abilities ever, like, thought of in this game. And the most boring ult in this game. Like, this man is absolutely trash. This is the worst character they've added, in my opinion. And we got Kiriko, who is absurdly broken, like, from a, design point. I don't think she's super overpowered anymore, but this ability right here is the worst thing ever for this game. Like, I think this is worse than 6-man res, worse than anything. I hate Kiriko so much. Her cleanse is so annoying. Suzu, the most annoying ability in the game. She can also teleport a lot. I think she's a really good character, though. I think she's fun, at least. But I do think this ability alone makes her not, she shouldn't. I kind of wish she wasn't in the game, honestly. Her ult's cool, though. Her ult's cool. And then we got Ramatra, who is actually, a pretty cool character. I just think the problem with him is there's too much going on. We've got, 3 abilities, and one of them activates a different mode that has a bunch of different, that turns 2 of the abilities into different things. You got his ult that extends his ability, he's just kind of nuts when it comes to, complexity. He's a very complex character, and if you're not an Overwatch player, you're gonna be confused playing this map. And you might be like, well, they're also doing other content, Ryan, and well, yes, you're technically right. That other content is so meaningless. It's like a map, which we get those rarely, but they are good, I will say. Whenever we do get a map, I'm always appreciative. But honestly, we got Push, which is technically not part of the seasonal model, or maybe it is, but Push absolutely blows. Push is the worst mode this game has ever had, and that's saying something. This game has had some pretty shit-ass modes. And that's kind of it, honestly. We've gotten, 2 new maps. Have we gotten anything else? I guess we got On Fire back. We've gotten, it's taken, 5 seasons, but we finally started getting some stuff back from Overwatch 1, so that's cool. But this system is absolutely trash now, to be honest. It's just, you're always on fire. At least it was, 3 weeks ago. And then also the content that they keep giving, the last part of content that we get is battle passes, which in most other games I would say that's fine. And I would show you my Fortnite to show you what a real good season launch should look like. But I can't get in my Fortnite account, so that's not happening. But I just want to show you the battle pass. So these battle passes, this is the best one they've had so far, but they are not that good. They just aren't. Most of this in between is absolutely shit for 90% of players. We get good skins, this is a cool skin, but it's 5 or 7 skins, and then we get random skins like this that no one really wants. This skin is good though, but when it comes to content, we get these every 2 months. And these are pretty much just skins, so it's not like it's going to keep you interested. We get a new shop reset, which you've seen me cover every week, and we get a new skin usually. And that's about it, honestly. We really don't. We get these limited time modes, which are really they banked a lot on these modes, and I think that they are failing. Honestly, if I wish we could see the player count for these modes. Because I think these 2 are failing. I think this one is just broken. This is just actually not doing well. Because it's such a small thing. It's you hop in it twice and then you're oh, okay, that was cool. But for some reason they've been banking everything on these limited time events. Which also, I think the reason they bank so much on them is because, oh, Overwatch, what's it called? Overwatch 1 events were super popular. Because you would actually get things. From these events, you know what I get? I get this fucking Doomfist skin, and a bunch of player icons, and a charm, and a victory pose. Like, that is so trash. That is so trash. There's no reason for me to even attempt to do these. Um, and that's honestly what I need to talk about. People are acting like we're getting a lot of content, but we're not. And then the content that isn't like actual content, like I guess we also get like these game modes every once in a while. But the content that isn't actually content is like the balance changes, which you've heard me go into in the past, where for some reason Blizzard just cannot make a single, I don't know what happened, but I've never seen them make a hit when it comes to balance patches. Like their balance patches are always bad. I don't know why or how they do it. Because and I guess there's always a problem. Like this is a thing that I always see in live action games where like even for me, just me, not even counting like the millions of people who also want different things from me, but you'll never appease like me when I'm playing this game completely, because you're gonna do one thing, like you're gonna buff fucking Reinhardt or whatever, but it'll be the most meaningless buff of all time, and I'll be like, alright, cool, I guess, thanks game, whatever. And then in that same patch, they also decide, oh, fuck it, let's just buff Orisa like an insane amount. And then I'm like, okay, well, this game's trash, they don't know how to balance. And that's, like I said, not even including other people. Like, I'm sure there's tons of people who think fucking McCree needs a buff, I'm sure, and that's fucking wild that that happens, because I think McCree's the most busted character we've had in a while. Maybe Hanzo, actually, but Hanzo's been broken for, like, super long. But like, the content in this game is not good, and I think people need to stop acting like we're getting a lot of content and call them out on it, that we are not getting much. Like, I personally, for one, I wasn't really a big fan of the Microsoft acquiring Activision, but now that they've done it, I don't really, like I said, I don't really care. Like, it's whatever for me. But I'm hoping that maybe Microsoft will step in and be like, hey, you guys, like, you guys make COD, which is slowly falling down the drain, but I will say it's still popular, but it's slowly falling down the drain. What the fuck? That nade, like, literally turned a 90-degree angle. Y'all should bank really hard on Overwatch since you guys claim to have so many players. And hopefully that's what they do, and they bank pretty hard on it, because I do think this game has such potential to be so good, and it's still, at its core, is the best shooter game of all time, in my opinion. I don't think any other game comes close to the core of this game. There's so much unique shit, so many different characters, so many different everything. Like, it's so unique. And I still will completely stand by what I said before. Blizzard really needs to choose to pick a side. Do they want to make this a competitive game for the Overwatch League or whatever, or do we want a casual game? Because I think you need to decide at this point, because the streamers aren't having fun because it's not competitive, the Overwatch League is failing because it's not competitive and the way they've been running it. Like, the game is not a competitive game, but at the same time, they don't make it fun either. Like, there's not much fun to have after you've learned every character, which I did that fucking 5 years ago, bro. Like, I've been learning this, and I'm not a competitive guy in this game. I've played some comp in my day, but I'm tired of it. I don't want to play it anymore. And the way to keep casual fans happy is keep adding consistent content, or if you're not going to do that, make the game just super fun. Make everyone super broken like that April Fool's patch, and just make it so everyone's able to have a good time. Because that's the one thing I did notice from the April Fool's patch. Everyone was having fun. Every single one of my friends. My friends who played Genji. My friends who played only healer. My friends who played tank. My friends who play, like, mix of everybody. My friends who exclusively stick to Mei. Like, literally everyone was having a fun time. And that's how you know that the game is in a good state. Because everyone, even the streamers are having a fun time. They're like, this is really, like, goofy fun. Like, I know it wouldn't last forever, but if everyone is goofy fun, then you're gonna have a lot more creators and people coming up with good, like, unique content that isn't competitive based, and I think that's what this game needs, because all the content on this game is, like, competitive based, and there's a lot of players who aren't like that, like me. Like, I'm not here for the competitive stuff. Sure, I like to watch it every once in a while. I haven't watched the Overwatch League in years, but I like to watch some streamers, I guess. I watch flats from time to time. And yeah, so I know I've kind of been going all over the place, but I just had to say how much I think that this game, it makes sense. Like, people seem surprised that this game is declining already. I don't think that's surprising at all. We've gotten like 5 seasons, and somehow the content has felt like it stayed the same since the beginning of launch. Like, I don't even, how does that even happen? Like, I know it's not like Fortnite or anything where you get a whole new map or whatever every single season, or a bunch of map changes, but still, like, the season should feel different. This is the first one that I felt like at the beginning felt different from the other ones. I think it's because it had an actual theme. But even then, like, now that we're in it pretty deep, I don't feel, it feels the exact same as last season, like, gameplay wise, except maybe instead of Junker Queen being broken, it's McCree and Hanzo. I think that's a big problem. And I also think, like I said, I think the content is not sustainable, which I think they're hopefully already seeing, is we can't just give these players like 2 things and then be like, well, we gave you content like a month ago, right? You guys are fine for a bit. And that's just not true. And I've also seen people saying like, oh, well, they have a small team, can't expect them to fucking like have a bunch of what's it called? Have a bunch of content consistently, like that'd be crazy. No, fuck you guys. Hire more people. Hire more people, make this game more successful. I want this game to be the best game ever. But it's not going to be at this point, and I don't think it ever will be. I think it was in 2016, it was the best game at the time. At 2017, I would also say it's the best multiplayer game. Even 2017, or 2018, I'd say it's the best multiplayer game. But after that, I'd say it fell off real hard. And real fast. It fell off like a rock. Nice. And just releasing skins, I know it makes you guys money and that's all you guys care about up at Blizzard, but that does not count as content for like 90% of players. That's nothing. Like, even as a huge Reinhardt fan, I've passed by like 4 skins already because they're just too much. Like, they are just actually too much. It's not worth it. And that's coming from somebody who does have like money to spare on stuff, like on random shit. So I'm sure people who actually don't have the money are just actually mad about the prices, like, consistently. And I still think they're bullshit, even though I do have the money to spend. It's like you're making us spend way too much. But yeah, just to summarize, I think content is not good, and that makes sense why the player base is falling off. I also think, like I've said before, they really need to decide if this game is competitive or not. Because if you're not trying to be competitive, just make it as fun as you can. I think people would appreciate that. But if you are trying to make it competitive, then make it actually competitive and make it fun to watch. Which they haven't done ever, in my opinion. So, and then the final thing, coming to Steam, hopefully we can see the real player count. Like, I know it won't be the whole player base because there'll be a lot of people on console, a lot of people on Battle.net still. But even if we just see, like, a decent amount of players, like, I feel like Overwatch, if it's got 27 million players, like Blizzard claims, I think it's actually 26 now because it's losing players, like I said. But if it's got 26 million players, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe even 100,000 are on Steam. But if we're under that within like the first 2 weeks, then that's a horrible sign, and that will tell you just how bad. I guess, and then that's the other thing, hoarding all of your content for one season is a significantly worse idea than just releasing it consistently. I think that's been the whole thing of Overwatch 2. It's supposed to be like consistently releasing content, but we've already kind of gone back into waiting like 3 months for an actually good season that we want and are excited for. But that's about it. Hold on. Later. Fun.